Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gorangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiri. Bolo Sri Radhe Golokananda Bhagwan ki Jai. Bolo Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Nisha, Krishna Taran. So, Hare Krishna Prem sir.
Right.
Right, and happy Ekadashi to everyone. So, Mokshada Ekadashi, the day of Gita Jayanti. Lord Krishna recited the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on this day. And we will do that on Saturday, coming Saturday, in the morning around 10:30. Okay, so hum log we started reading Adhyay 8 yesterday. And 8th Adhyay is about the descendants of Mandhata, right? Maharaj Mandhata was the king of the whole universe, right? King of the whole universe, all the 7 islands, right? All the 7 Mahadvips, right? The entire earth. So what we are reading right now are the descendants of King Mandhata. Is what we are Mandhata. Sorry, okay, is what we are reading right now. Yesterday we read this one that Sagar Maharaj, and Sagar Maharaj is the son of Mandhata Maharaj. Yeah, when Mandhata Maharaj went for Vanprastha, Sagar Maharaj was born, and I think we read about that whole thing. But in any case, Sagar Maharaj became again the, the big kingdom he used to own. And then what we read yesterday was following the instructions of the great sages, or Sagar Maharaj performed Ashwamedh sacrifices. Yeah. So those days, they'll do the Ashwamedh sacrifice whenever they have the huge kingdom, the whole kingdom with them. And thus satisfied the Supreme Lord, who is the supreme controller, the super soul of all learned scholars, and the knower of all Vedic knowledge, the supreme personality of Godhead. Yeah. But Indra, the king of heaven, stole the horse meant to be offered at the sacrifice. Yeah. So of course he does that. Sarva Ved Suratmakam. Yeah. For the supreme personality of Godhead. But the Purandara, the Indra Devata, he steals the horse while he is doing the Aswamedh Yajna. So we'll start reading from 8. Anilji.
Sumatyastanya draptaha pitura deshakarinaha hemanveshamanaste samantanya kanan mahim. King Sagar had 2 wives, Sumati and Keshini. The sons of Sumati, who were very proud of their prowess and influence, following the order of their father, searched for the lost horse. While doing so, they dug into the earth very extensively. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Mahim is the earth. And so they were searching for the horse. The 2 sons of Sagar Maharaj. Ajay?
Pragudichyam Dichya Dishi Hrim Dridrisham Kapilantike Ish Vaji Harosh Shor Aste Milileto Luchana Hanyata Pap Iti Shashti Sahasrana Udayutha Abhyur Urinmesh Tada Muni. Thereafter, in the northeastern direction, they saw the horse near the ashram of Kapil Muni. Here is the man who has stolen the horse, they said. He is staying there with closed eyes. Certainly he is very sinful. Kill him. Kill him. Shouting like this, the sons of Sagara, 60,000 altogether, raised their weapons. When they approached the sage opened his eyes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so we have read about Kapil Muni. Yeah. And Kapil Muni is none other than avatar of Lord Vishnu himself. Right? And here we say Kapil Muni, yeah, he was in meditation. But that's where they saw the horse. And when they saw the horse, they thought it's because of Kapil Muni has taken it. And he says, Shasti Sahasrin, 60,000 of their Sainiks. Yeah. They all got together, they raised their weapons against Kapil Muni. Nisha?
स्वशरीर अग्निना तावन् महेन्द्र रथचेतसः महदव्यतिक्रमहता भस्मसाद भवन क्षणात्. By the influence of Indra, the king of heaven, the sons of Sajar had lost their intelligence and disrespected a great personality. Consequently, fire emanated from their own bodies and they were immediately burned to ashes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So all the 60,000, right? Because they disrespected, of course, Kapil Muni, right? The fire emanated from their own bodies. So what is mentioned? Tarun?
The material body is a combination of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. There is already fire within the body, and our practical experience is that the heat of this fire sometimes increases and sometimes decreases. The fire within the bodies of the sons of Sagar Maharaj became so much hotter that all of them burned to ashes. The fire's increased heat was due to their misbehavior towards a great personality. Such misbehavior is called Mahad Vyatikrama. They were killed by the fire of their own bodies because of insulting a great personality. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prem?
न साधुवादो मुनिकोपा भर्जिता नृपेन्द्रपुत्र इति सत्वधामनि कथं तमो रोषयं विभात्यते जगत पवित्र मणि खे रजो भुव. It is sometimes argued that the sons of King Sagar were burned to ashes by the fire emanating from the eyes of Kapil Muni. This statement, however, is not approved by great learned persons, for Kapil Muni's body is completely in the mode of goodness and therefore cannot manifest the mode of ignorance in the form of anger, just as the pure sky cannot be polluted by the dust of earth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is being mentioned is when all those 60,000 army men, right, they were burnt to the ashes. It's mentioned sometimes the argument is that it says Muni Kop Bharjita, because Kapil Muni opened his eyes, it happened. But what the great personalities are saying is not because of that. It's not because of Kapil Muni. It's just because Kapil Muni is always Sattva-dhamani, right? He's always in the mode of goodness and therefore cannot manifest the mode of ignorance. Right? Katham tamo rosmayam vibhavyate. He cannot manifest the mode of ignorance. Just as the pure sky cannot be polluted by the dust of earth. Yeah. Reenaji, can you hear now?
Yes, it's better now. Thank you. Yasya Rita Sankhyamayee Dridir Naurya Mumukshustarate Duratyayam Bhavarnamam Mrityupatham Vipaschita Paratmabhutasya Katham Prithangamate. Kapil Muni enunciated in this material world the Sankhya philosophy, which is a strong boat with which to cross over the ocean of nations. Indeed, a person eager to cross the ocean of the material world may take shelter of this philosophy. In such a greatly learned person, situated on the elevated platform of transcendence, how can there be any distinction between enemy and friend? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what is being mentioned is Kapil Muni at that elevated platform, and of course, he was none other than Avatar of Lord Vishnu himself. What is mentioned is he doesn't even distinguish between enemy and friend. Oh, nice purport. So, read this, Anilji.
One who is promoted to the transcendental position, Brahma Bhuta, is always jubilant, Prasannatma. He is unaffected by the false distinctions between good and bad in the material world. Therefore, such an exalted person is Samah Sarveshu Bhuteshu, that is to say, he is equal toward everyone, not distinguishing between friend and enemy. Because he is on the absolute platform, free from material contamination, he is called Paratma Bhuta or Brahma Bhuta. Kapil Muni, therefore, was not at all angry at the sons of Sagar Maharaj. Rather, they were burnt to ashes by the heat of their own bodies. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
यो समज्जस इत्युक्तः स केशिन्या नृपात्मजः तस्य पुत्रो शुमान् नाम पितामहहिते रतः. Among the sons of Sagar Maharaj was one named Asmanjasa, who was born from king's second wife, Keshini. The son of Asmanjasa was known as Amshuman, and he was always engaged in working for the good of Sagar Maharaj, his grandfather. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, like as we are reading the descendants, right, of the Vivasvat Manu, and then right now we are reading about the Sagar Maharaj. Sagar Maharaj was the son of Mandhata Maharaj, who is again in the descendants of Vivasvat Manu. And what we are reading right now is Sagar Maharaj while doing the Ashwamedh Yajna. Yeah, Indradev took the horse, and then his sons went to get the horses, and they of course saw Kapil Muni, and they thought Kapil Muni had taken the horses, right? And they were of course burned to the ashes because of disrespect there. And but then that's what we are reading right now. Yeah, continue to read. So what is being mentioned is among the sons of Sagar Maharaj, one of the son was Asmanjas. Yeah, and then Asmanjas son was Anshuman, who was always working for the good of Sagar Maharaj. So, Ajay.
Asmanjasa Atmanam Darshan Samajasam Jatismarah Pura Sangad Yogad Vichalitah Acharan Gahitam Loke Gyatinam Karma Vipriyam Saremya Kridato Balan Prasadya Dudhe Jay Anjanam. Formerly in his previous birth, Asmanjas had been a great mystic yogi, but by bad association he had fallen from his exalted position. Now in this life he was born in a royal family and was a Jatismara. That is, he had the special advantage of being able to remember his past birth. Nonetheless, he wanted to display himself as a miscreant, and therefore he would do things that were abominable in the eyes of public and unfavorable to his relatives. He would disturb the boys sporting in the river Saryu by throwing them into the depth of the water. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
एवं वृद्धः परित्यक्त पित्रा स्नेहं वे योगेश्वरेण बालान् स्थान दर्शयित्वा ततो ययो. Because Asamanjas engaged in such abominable activity, his father gave up affection for him and had him exiled. Then Asamanjas exhibited his mystic power by reviving the boys and showing them to the king and their parents. After this, Asamanjas left Ayodhya. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, what is mentioned is Asmanjas was a Jatishmar, right? He could remember the past life. And because of his mystic power, he did not forget his previous consciousness. Thus, he could give life to the dead. By exhibiting wonderful activities in relation to the dead children, he certainly attracted the attention of the king and people in general, but then he left that place immediately. Tarun?
Ahodhya Vasinav Sarve Balakan Punar Agatan Dastva Vismir Rajan Raja Kapi Anvatapatyata. O King Parishit, when all the inhabitants of Ayodhya saw that their boys had come back to life, they were astounded, and King Sagara greatly lamented the absence of his son. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Okay.
Anshumansho Dito Rajna Turangan Veshne Yayao Pitrivya Khatna Nupatham Bhasmanti Tadresi Hayam. Thereafter, Anshuman, the grandson of Maharaj Sagar, was ordered by the king to search for the horse. Following the same path traversed by his uncles, Anshuman gradually reached the stack of ashes and found the horse nearby. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rinaji?
Sinam munim vikshya kapilakhya madhokshajam astot samahit manah pranjali pranato mahan. The great Anshuman saw the sage named Kapil, the saint who is an incarnation of Vishnu, sitting there by the horse. Anshuman offered him respectful obeisances, folded his hands, and offered him prayers with great attention. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So he sees Kapil Muni. Yeah. Kapil Muni is Kapila Akhya Adokshajam. Dokshajam is avatar of Lord Vishnu himself. And so he does the obeisances to Kapil Muni. Anshuman Vacha Pashyati Tvam Paramatmano Ajino Na Buddhate Adhapi Samadhi Yukti Bhi Kuto Apare Tashya Mana Shariradhi Visarga Srishta Vayam Prakasha. Anshuman said, My Lord, even Lord Brahma is to this very day unable to understand your position, which is far beyond himself, either by meditation or by mental speculation. So, what to speak of others like us, who have been created by Brahma in various forms as demigods, animals, human beings, birds, and beasts? We are completely in ignorance. Therefore, how can we know you who are the transcendents? Right? So this is Anshuman, who is the grandson of Sagar Maharaj, right? Which is totally opposed to the other two sons who blamed Kapil Muni. He is going and doing the glorifying Kapil Muni, right? And he's saying, of course, Samadhi Yukti Bhi, and even says Paramatma Mano Ajano. Ajan is the Lord Brahma. So he's saying even Lord Brahma is na pashyati. He cannot understand you. Right? Lord Brahma cannot understand you. So people like us, right? Tasya mana sharira dhi. Like people like who are having this kind of physical materialistic body, how can they even understand? We are vayam aprakasha hai. Like we are without any kind of knowledge, we cannot understand you. Is what Anshuman is glorifying Kapil Muni. A nice purport. So let's read this, Anilji.
इच्छा द्वेषः समत्वेन द्वन्द्वा मतेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यन्ति पर अंतपा O Shrine of Bharat, Arjuna, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. Bhagavad Gita 7.27. All living beings in the material world are influenced by the three modes of material nature. Even Lord Brahma is in the mode of goodness. Similarly, the demigods are generally in the mode of passion, and living entities lower than the demigods, such as human beings and animals, are in the mode of ignorance or in the mixed goodness, passion, and ignorance. Therefore, Anshuman wanted to explain that because his uncles who had burned to ashes were under the modes of material nature, they could not understand Lord Kapiladeva. Because you are beyond even the direct and indirect intelligence of Lord Brahma, he prayed, unless we are enlightened by your Lordship, it will not be possible for us to understand you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and of course in the Bhagavad Gita, Gita Jayanti today, right, 7.27, it says, Ichha Dvesh Samuttena, right? Everyone is born with like desire and hate. All the living beings in the material world are influenced by three modes of material nature, right? What are those three modes?
Rajogun, Satogun, Tamogun.
Right? Rajogun, Satogun, and Tamogun, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So we are all associated with those modes. What is mentioned? Yeah, Ajay?
अथापि ते देवा पदमुज द्वय प्रसादा लेसांगुता इवाहि जनति तत्त्वं भगवान महिम्नो न चन्य एको चरण विचिन्वन. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. Bhagavad Gita 10.14.29. The Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, can be understood by one who is favored by the Lord. The Lord cannot be understood by others. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So what is mentioned here is, if one is favored by a slight trace of the mercy of the lotus feet, yeah? Padam Guj Davya. So that is the lotus feet of Lord. If he can favor, if he can give his blessings, that's the only way you can understand the Lord. Janati Tattva Bhagwan Mahimo. Otherwise, what is mentioned is even people can study the Vedas for many years, right? If there is no favorism by the Lord himself, it's very difficult to understand him. And that's the only way is the devotional service, right? Which we have been talking about. Nisha?
ये देह भाज स्त्री गुण प्रधाना गुणान विपश्यन्त्युत वातमश्च यन्मायया मोहित चेतसत्वां विदुः स्वसस्तं न बहिः प्रकाशः. My Lord, you are fully situated in everyone's heart, but the living entities covered by the material body cannot see you, for they are influenced by the external energy conducted by the three modes of material nature. Their intelligence being covered by Sattva-gun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. They can see only the actions and reactions of these three modes of material nature. Because of the actions and reactions of the mode of ignorance, whether the living entities are awake or sleeping, they can see only working of material nature. They cannot see your lordship. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So who is saying this? Who is speaking right now?
The grandson of
Ashwa.
Mandada.
Right. Yeah. Sagar Maharaj's grandson, Anshuman. Right. He is speaking to whom?
Kapil Muni.
Kapil Muni, right? And Kapil Muni is the avatar of Lord Vishnu himself. And so he is saying that Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Yeah. But we are covered by the material body. Yeah. And the Trigun says Trigun Pradhana, right? We are covered by the material body, the external energy influence, right? By the three modes of material nature. And that's why we only see the material activities. We are not able to understand the lordship. We cannot see your lordship, is how Anshuman is praying to Kapil Muni. Yeah. Okay, nice purport. Let's read this. Tarun.
Unless one is situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, one is unable to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart. However, because the conditioned souls are influenced by material nature, they can see only the actions and reactions of material nature, but not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One therefore must purify himself internally and externally. Apavitraha pavitrova sarva vasatham gato piva yasmaret pundarikaksham sa bahyayantaraha suchiha. To keep ourselves externally clean, we should bathe 3 times daily, and for internal cleanliness, we must cleanse the heart by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement must always follow this principle. Bahiyadrayantraha sakhi suchi. Then it will one day be possible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what is the impact of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? It slowly and slowly it cleanses the heart, right? It cleanses the soul, right? It awakens the soul, and this is how you lead to the self-realization. But that's the purifying the soul. The process is chanting the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that's the Mahamantra chanting, which purifies the soul. And that's why we do this chanting in the beginning itself. And the good thing is we also do it in the voice of, along with the voice of Srila Prabhupada himself, who is like one of the biggest devotee of Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah. So that's the way to do the internal cleanliness. Yeah.
Tam tvama aham gyan ganam swabhav pradvavasta maya gun bhed mohe sanadar sanadnam dhar munibhir vibhavyam katham vimud paribhavyami. O my Lord, sages freed from the influence of the three modes of material nature, sages such as the 4 Kumaras, Sanat, Sanak, Sanand, and Sanatan, are able to think of you, who are concentrated knowledge. But how can an ignorant person like me think of you? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what Anshuman is telling Kapil Muni, of course, is that there are Mahatmas, right? There are great rishis, and we have read about the Sanat Kumars, right? We read about Sanat Kumar so many times. Sanat Kumars are the 4 brothers, right? Sanat, Sanak, Sanandan, and Sanatan. Yeah, I think we should remember this. So next time we should talk about this. I'll ask who are the four Sanat Kumars. So Sanat Kumars are Sanat, Sanak, Sanandan, and Sanatan. So two are easy to remember. Yes, Sanat and Sanatan. Yeah. And then Sanak and Sanandan. They are the four Sanat Kumars, and they are, of course, the great brahmacharis as well as the greatest devotees. Of course, none other than Avatar of Lord Vishnu himself, right? So they are saying they can at least think of you. You is the Lord Vishnu, right? Kapil Muni. And but how can Katham Vimudha Paribhavyami, like people like us, right? Anshuman is saying, like, how can an ignorant person like me think of you, right? And again, a nice purport. So read this. Anilji.
The word Swabhav refers to one's own spiritual nature or original constitutional position. When situated in this original position, the living entity is unaffected by the modes of material nature. Sagunan samatityatam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Bhagavad Gita 14.26. As soon as one is freed from the influence of the three modes of material nature, he is situated on the Brahman platform. Vivid examples of personalities thus situated are the four Kumaras and Narad. Such authorities can by nature understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but a conditioned soul not freed from the influence of material nature is unable to realize the Supreme. In Bhagavad Gita 2.45, therefore Krishna advises Arjun Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraya Gunyao Bhava Arjuna. One must rise above the influence of the three modes of material nature. One who stays within the influence of the three material modes is unable to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay.
Prashant Maya Gun Karmalingam Manam Rupam Satsudvi Muktam Gyanopadeshaya Grihit Deham Namamahe Tvam Purusham Puranam. O completely peaceful Lord, although material nature, fruitive activities, and their consequent material names and forms are your creation, you are unaffected by them. Therefore, your transcendental name is different from material names, and your form is different from material forms. You assume a form resembling a material body just to give us instructions like those of Bhagavad Gita, but actually you are the supreme original person. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this is how Anshuman is glorifying Kapil Muni, right? And he's saying, of course, a completely peaceful Lord, right? Says Prashant and Maya Gun Karmalinga May Nama Rupam Sat Asat Muktam. Yeah, he's saying that all the material nature, everything are your creation. You are not affected by them. You are unaffected by them, right? And he's saying that's why the transcendental name is different from material names. And your form is different from material forms. Yeah. And but he's saying, in spite of that, you assume a form resembling a material body, just to give us instructions like those of Bhagavad Gita. That's how the Lord Sri Krishna on earth comes up, right? It says, Jnano Pudeshaya Grihita Deham. So you take something like that form to give us the Jnana Upadesha, like how he gave the Bhagavad Gita to us. And but you are the Tvam Purusham Puranam. Yeah, you actually are the supreme original person. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Yeah, is how Ashuman is praying to Kapil Muni. Karam?
Srila Yamunacharya has recited this verse in his Shrota Ratna. Bhavatanam evanucharan nirantara prasanta nihesesa manoratta ratnahatara kadaham ekantita nitya kinkara prahara sahiyasyami sanata jivitam. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a fitting master? Manorasenasasati dhavato bahi. One who acts on the mental platform must descend to material activities. Material contamination, however, is completely absent from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rinaji?
Therefore, the Lord is addressed as Prashanta, completely peaceful, free from the disturbances of material existence. The Supreme Lord has no material name or form. Only the foolish think that the Lord's name and form are material. Avajananti mam mudha manusem tanum ashritam. The identity of the Supreme Lord is that He is the original person. Nonetheless, those who have but a poor fund of knowledge think that the Lord is formless. The Lord is formless in the material sense, but He has His transcendental form, Sachidananda Vigraha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so the Lord is, of course, Sat, Chit, Anand. That's the form, right? That's the Vigraha form. Nisha?
Maya rachite loke vastu buddhya grihadishu भ्रमन्ति कामलोभे ईर्ष्यामोहविभ्रान्त चेतसः. O my Lord, those whose hearts are bewildered by the influence of lust, greed, envy, and illusion are interested only in false earth and home in the world created by your Maya. Attached to home, wife, and children, they wander in this material world perpetually. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What he's saying is, of course, that those who are bewildered by the influence of lust, greed, envy, and illusion, right? As we know, everyone, right? All the materialistic engagements, Kam, Lobh, Irsha, Moha, yeah, Maya, all those. Then what happens is Brahmanti. We are Brahmanti, like we are wandering in this material world perpetually, right? And the only way to get out of this is to surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the surrender is by the devotional service, as we have been reading, right? And this is how the glorification of Kapil Muni is being done by Anshuman as well. Prem?
Adhyana sarvabhutanam kam kamendriya yashaya mohpasho dridhashchino bhagwan swa darshanat. O super soul of all living entities, O personality of Godhead, simply by seeking you, I have now been freed from all lusty desires, which are the root cause of insurmountable illusion and bondage in the material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Anshuman is just having the darshan of Kapil Muni. What has happened to him is freed from all the lusty desires, right? He says here Moha Pasho, yeah. And he's of course saying the super soul of all the living entities, Sarva Bhutatman, yeah. Super soul of all living entities. So we are all the living entities. And as we have read, we have this Sthul Sharir, this body, right? Under that we have the Suksham Sharir. Yeah, so we read about gross body and subtle body, and then under that we have the soul, right? So that's the soul, Sat Chit Anand. That soul is related to the super soul. That's the yoga. That's how you get connected to the super soul. So that's how we are all connected through the soul, because all the souls are connected to the super soul. right? And that's how he's saying Sarva Bhut Atmana. Yeah, that's how he's addressing him. And then, of course, Bhagavans Tasava Darshanat, just by doing his darshan, yeah, he has been freed from the moha body. Neil?
Shri Shukavacha Itham Gitanuvarvastam Bhagavan Kapilo Munihi Anshumananta Muvacheda Manugrahya Shriya Dhiya Nrapa. O King Parikshit, when Anshuman had glorified the Lord in this way, the great sage Kapil, the powerful incarnation of Vishnu, being very merciful to him, explained to him the path of knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Kapil Muni then gave him the knowledge. Ajay?
Sri Bhagavan Vach Ashroyam Niyatam Vats Pitamaha Pashustatva Ime cha Pitaro Dugdha Gangambho Anti Netrat. The Prasadhi Godhead said, My dear Anshuman, here is the animal sought by your grandfather for sacrifice. Please take it. As for your forefathers who have been burned to ashes, they can be delivered only by Ganges water and not by any other means. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Inaji?
परिक्रम्य शिरसा प्रसाद्य हृदय हयमानयत सगरस्तेन पशूना यज्ञशेषं समापयत. Thereafter, Anshuman circumambulated Kapil Muni and offered him respectful obeisances, bowing his head. After fully satisfying him in this way, Anshuman brought back the horse meant for sacrifice, and with this horse Maharaj Sagar performed the remaining ritualistic ceremonies. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
राज्यमंशुमते न्यस्य निस्पृहो मुक्तबंधन और वो पदिष्ट मार्गेण लेभे गति मनुत्तमाम. After delivering charge of his kingdom to Anshuman and thus being freed from all material anxiety and bondage, Sagar Maharaj, following the means instructed by Agurva Muni, achieved the supreme destination. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this is about the Sagar Maharaj. Yeah. Then after he gave in charge to Anshuman, and then says, Niya Spriho Mukta Bandhana. Then he got freed from all the bondage and anxiety, achieved the supreme destination. Gatim Anu Uttama. Yeah, and this ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 9th canto 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Sons of Sagar Meet Lord Kapiladeva. Follow Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Right, so we'll pause here. We are a little bit over time, but since it's Ekadashi, I think it's okay to do extra 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to listen to a beautiful Hare Krishna Kirtan, which was done in Mayapur temple. Yeah, ISKCON Mayapur temple. We'll hear it from 8 to 9 minutes. It's Kirtan led by Madhurika Devi Dashi. So we'll hear it from 8 to 9 minutes. Very beautiful Kirtan. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Let me share the screen. बोलो श्री राधा माधव भगवान की
Jai.
yeah, so nice, beautiful kirtan. Yeah, right in the temple itself. So, right, I think we'll see you next Monday, unless we'll also do Bhagavad Gita reading on Saturday, 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'll send the invites. We'll read the whole Bhagavad Gita, takes around 2.5 to 3 hours. We'll just read the translation, not the shlok itself, but we'll just read the English translation. Yeah, on Zoom. So try to join that. I'll send the link and everything. Yeah. So we'll see you at 10 a.m. Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
everyone.